Here we go, mask tutorial number 2. Here's what's new: a nose wire, side casing, paracord tie, and a cord lock toggle for easy on and off. Let's gather our supplies. First, we're going to start with a piece of fabric, 8 by 15, folded right sides together. You want to match the raw edges of the 8-inch side and sew at 1/4 inch from the edge. Turn and press. Next, we're going to prepare our nose strip. You're going to want to cut a piece of fabric 2 inches wide by the width of your mask. Now, let's press it. For this part, we're going to use the quarter fold technique. To do this, we've got to fold our fabric in half the long way and then fold those raw edges to the inside, neatly encasing them in the middle. Pin your nose piece to the top edge of your mask and take it to your sewing machine and stitch as close to the top edge as you possibly can, about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Stitch the top and bottom, and remember to leave one side open so you can put the wire inside. What Kathy's doing right now is she's using her paper template to put markers where she's going to stitch the nose wire in place. So she's putting a pin at each end of the nose wire, about 1/4 inch away from the wire itself. You want to make sure that you absolutely do not stitch over the wire with your sewing machine, but you also want to be close enough to the wire that it stays exactly where you want it to be on your mask. You might notice that Kathy is using her favorite foot to sew with. It's called the open toe applique foot from Pfaff. And what's special about this foot is that it's completely open in the front, so she can see exactly where her needle and her stitches are, making sure that she doesn't stitch the wire. Now we're going to grab our paper template. We like to use freezer paper because when you iron it onto your fabric, it will stick, and you can use this as a sewing guide. We'll start by peeling back to the first stitch line, and we'll stitch there. And then we'll peel back to the second stitch line, fold and stitch there. Then peel back to the third stitch line and fold and stitch there. That way we can keep all of our layers together, and this makes it really easy to pleat and fold our mask. The nice thing is no measuring and marking, but if you don't have freezer paper at home, you can use regular old computer paper. Just pin it in place. You'll notice that Kathy made some cuts where the inner fold is marked. These will help us when we start to fold our pleats. No marking needed. Begin by pressing the bottom stitching line towards the back of the mask. Flip your mask over and fold at your clips, bending the mask down. Then flip back to the front and repeat. Pin all of your pleats in place. Now we're going to cut the casing for the ties. You'll want this piece to be 3 inches wide by however long you have. Honestly, like a 3x6 piece will be plenty, but use whatever you have. We'll trim it down in a minute. Fold down about 1/2 inch at the top, and then match up your raw edges so that the tie casing and the side of the mask meet each other. Fold the bottom part up and then trim off any excess. Fold this piece in half so that all of the raw edges meet on the side of the mask and that there's a fold facing towards the inside of your mask. Pin this in place. Head over to your sewing machine and stitch 1/4 inch from the edge. You'll notice that Kathy is using a stiletto to keep everything in place. Looks pretty nice, right? Wrap the casing around to the back of your mask and pin it in place. You'll want to match the fold of the casing with the 1/4 inch stitching line that you just made. When Kathy does this next part, she starts about 1 inch from the bottom of her mask. She stitches down to the bottom and into the bulk of that casing, then back stitches a little bit, turns her mask around, and then stitches to the top. Repeat this process for both sides, and then you're ready to insert your cording. When threading your paracord through, you'll want to make a U shape from one end to the other. Once you thread your paracord through the casing, you can attach the cord end. We like to tie little knots on our cord and singe the edges so that they don't fray. Now, you can wear your mask. Ta-da! There she is. Gorgeous. Thanks, Kathy. For those of you who don't know, Kathy, our owner, was a respiratory therapist for 25 years, so she really knows her stuff when it comes to breathing. We decided to do a little Q&A for you guys. So you said you were wearing your mask for a long time?
This morning in the shop, and I was talking a lot, so it got kind of moist behind there. When I took it off, I was like, oh, it kind of feels like I've just had a facial. I really think that I'm starting to look younger, don't you think?
I think so too. You're looking gorgeous. Now here, I have some questions for you. So This is the second mask tutorial that we're doing. Why was it important to do a second mask tutorial?
Well, first off, everybody knows, or should know by now, that masks really are what we need to get COVID-19 under control. And many of you may remember that my background is respiratory care, so that I understand that what is a droplet, what is aerosol, and can actually think about how scary those things are. And that I've always said, even prior to COVID-19, that when anybody speaks, they spit. Some people spit more than others.
I've definitely had those embarrassing moments where you're like...
I actually recognize that when I'm in class and I'm really talking really, really fast.
You get really excited about something.
Oh my gosh, so now I don't have to worry about spitting on anybody. But those little spit droplets are what carries viruses, and in this case, COVID-19. So that having a mask that would stop that spread was really, really important to us. The other thing was that we wanted it so it was wearable. If you have a mask on, and I call them the bra cup style, where it's like this, it's very, very easy to make them. I think those are the easiest ones, and believe me, I took like 2 months and made every single mask that was out there. I put filter pockets in, I did all kinds of things. And I wanted to have something that fit really well, that you could wear comfortably for a long period of time.
And how does this one fit better than our original? Like, what are some of the differences?
The original, we would have sewn the ties right to the edge of the mask.
Gotcha. So now we've removed the ties.
So that now, because we have it so that there's a casing here that the tie is through, I can actually take this and scrunch it so it really conforms to the side of my face, instead of being straight like this, that it doesn't fit very well.
So I see you've added the nose wire, right? So do your glasses ever fog up anymore? Because I know that's a huge concern for people. No, you don't. Well, and I would imagine too that the nose wire is nice and long, so it goes can really conform to your face, right? Yeah, awesome. And then do you find that you're ever touching your mask at all because it's not fitting you properly?
No.
Because that's a problem, right?
Because it has the pleats on the side.
Yeah.
It allows me to be able to talk.
I see.
Where the other one that has no pleats, I've seen it where people get them to be the right size and it goes in under their chin, so then it doesn't pull down. But most people have that style mask too small. So as soon as they move their mouth up and down, the thing starts pulling down and pulling down.
And it starts migrating off their face.
So then they're constantly pushing it up and touching it. One, do you have any virus that's right here that now you put up here? because in infection control, we would talk about the portal of entry.
Right, your
which
eyes,
would be
your nose,
eyes,
your
your
mouth.
nose, your mouth. There has to be a way for the virus to enter your body. And those are the main portals. And so that's why we're after you all the time to wash your hands,
hand sanitize,
and not to
touch
your face.
Gotcha. So having a mask that really fits you is integral, because then you're not touching your face as much too. So that's awesome. I've definitely seen people even with, you know, like the paper masks, like the medical style ones, where those really don't fit as well either. So they're constantly touching your face.
Well, that has just the strips here and here.
Exactly. So having that casing around the side so that it can cinch around your face, I find that mine is really comfortable to wear. And how about, you know, a lot of people are like, you know, looking for elastic. What do you, like, what's your feeling about this new, like the paracord with the little bungee, actually, the cord end? So
stayed
this
away
style.
from elastic right from the get-go, just because elastic was not available. The other thing is, having been a healthcare professional who has worn masks before, if you have to wear a mask for a long period of time that the elastic is over your ears, eventually you're going to get skin breakdown here at the top of your ear. That is extremely painful, and especially something to consider with children wearing masks.
Oh gosh,
they
the poor
are
kiddos.
not going to wear a mask if their ears are hurting them. And you see people constantly
people with their ears like sticking
ears
out
like
too.
This. I keep saying, oh, plastic surgeons in a year from now are going to have a heyday, because they're going to have to fix everybody's ears. So that initially we went to the straps.
That's right.
And I've got to tell you, you know, they do, because there's a little bit more resistance. The straps do stay up on your head, but they are a pain in the neck to make. It is a really time consuming.
Yeah.
And so
the bungee is, or whatever.
So the paracords, we've just started to stock that in the shop. And really, it was my husband who was like, I hate tying this mask.
Thanks,
and
Joel.
He actually got on and found some of these. So we've been trialing different types of clasps that we can put on here. And a lot of them work really very well, although depending on this one, if you have too big of a paracord, it doesn't fit through here very easily. And that's a whole nother video on how I make it go through there. And then we started doing it so that it's only just one.
Here, lift up your hair. Oh yeah, so it just goes around your neck.
Start here.
Yeah,
it comes down
loop it
through
around.
here. It goes around and then up through here. So that it's so easy for me. Once I have it adjusted, I really am never adjusting that again.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to pull that off your face. And then, you know, if you've got to get in there again, to put that back on again, and without tying and retying.
Yeah, well, I think too, like, I like to wear mine around my neck, so being able to slide it off and down so that it's not against my face, but having it just as really like easy access is so nice. And I would imagine that would be easy for kids too, where you're like worried about them maybe losing them, or like, will they actually remember to have them on? I think if you can have something around your neck, it's a little harder to forget.
If you're going to the grocery store, you can put your mask on at home and let it hang around your neck while you're driving, and then really be able to put it on very simply when you get to your destination.
Yeah. I think too, you know, these little cord ends, you know, I've had people say, oh, you know, whenever I use anything with a knot or a tie, that their hair gets caught up in it. And I haven't had any issues with this, and I've had my hair up and had my hair down. So I like that I don't have to worry about pulling out my hair with it. So awesome. So those are some of the updates that we've done. I think this makes a truly awesome mask, and could say we invite everybody to
have fun with it.
Yes.
Your mask should have a really fabulous fit and it should be fun. And so you'll see that, you know, I have heaps of masks that I've made.
Well, can we zoom in on your fun mask right now? Because there's a lady in the middle. It's like the most fun lady with the little bikini. I love that.
Now, don't fall in love with this fabric because it was in my stash and I had this teeny little bit. So I was really like cautious.
This was your 4th of July mask.
Littlest thing for
but you know, like, I love that you use the lipstick here because I'm somebody who I personally love to wear lipstick and I miss wearing lipstick. So this is kind of a way that you can be a little bit snazzy with your mask. The kiddos, the little boys love the...
But the fabric still looks good if you have somebody. This one, while I hate this style mask, this is what I call the bra cup style mask.
Here, let's see.
The fabric was just fantastic.
Oh, I see too. You were like trying something here with the nose piece. This is like the archives of Kathy's mask making.
Nose piece, and I figured that most people would break their sewing machine needles.
Oh gosh, yeah, to be zipping over. Yeah, so we moved away from this.
And then I have, because we have so many sciencey people in our family, we went to that.
Actually, we just got new fabric that's like this too. Awesome.
And this was another one I trialed. So this is a
this is like a duck bill.
This is an N95 mask, and it would go on like this, and it would go on like this. And
you look like a platypus. Hold on, can you do that again?
But initially, everybody was like, oh, because the healthcare providers didn't have N95s, and they had to keep re-wearing them. And believe me, this is not like fake news. We actually have people that are in healthcare that are like, we're supposed to wear these and wear these and wear these.
Well, didn't we have some customers who were saying, oh, like we work at a place and we were supposed to pass them to the next employee or something,
and stuff,
which is just really, which is gross.
So anyway, so I was trying to make a fun kind of cover
for them,
but in theory, it seemed like it would work, but then I really couldn't figure out how to easily put the ties on there, so I pitched that one to the side. And then I really did, my bra cup mask was designed after this N95 mask. But even when I wear this, that, you know, it's always falling down. And so I went to the surgical style mask, and so our pattern really is designed right from that, except we've made lots of improvements like we always do. And this one,
we've made it better.
Because ours has that casing on the side, we can make it so it fits a whole lot better.
I really do like that. So here, I just want to see the side one more time. It really does fit nicely. Well, I think that's awesome. I think that this is...
One other thing, if it gets a little warm under there, which sometimes it does if you're talking a whole lot.
Yeah.
I rarely do that, but I just kind of pull it up here a little bit, and it opens it up down here, so I'm like,
so that you can have like...
a little bit of cool air. Okay, now I'm good again.
Yeah. And you can still then keep your face completely covered. That's awesome. Thank you so much for giving us this tutorial and like a tour of your trials here and some tips and tricks. This was really awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for watching.
I'm glad you're smiling with your eyes.
Have fun.
Bye.